What up, guys? I was curious at where the reviews stood on Steam for the DLC. I was curious. And I was actually kind of surprised to see recent reviews at mixed. And I thought all reviews would have been, closer to mixed, and recent reviews would have been better. But it's kind of crazy to me. 10,000. Over 10,000, actually. 10,698. Recent reviews have been mixed. That's insane. So, I wanted to go into some of the not the comments, but the reviews. I mean, they're basically comments, right? I wanted to go into some of the reviews to see what they were saying, to see if anything kind of stands out to me. I would not say, I wouldn't put this at mix. That's insane. Like, that's insane. Even with some of the things that I found that were disappointing in the DLC, I still wouldn't put it at mix. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, I love how we're getting the Midra scene. It's like, dude, Midra alone saves this from being mixed. Midra's amazing. But okay, let's check out some of these reviews. So here's a review posted August 3rd, 1:22 p.m. From when I'm making this video. That was like 2 hours from now. I love Elden Ring. It's the game that got me into FromSoft games, and let me be honest, it's amazing. But after playing for a very long time, it says 0 hours for me. Okay, let's continue though. That's suspicious. I'm beginning to find it harder and harder to actually recommend this DLC/game. Okay. Weird, but okay. Visually spectacular, sound design and soundtracks are fantastic, and the new weapons are great, but the bosses have janky, broken hitboxes. Yeah, there's definitely some attacks. Some attacks. Not like every attack, but there's like, I can think of like a couple on Gaius, maybe. And then like Sunflower, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. But, oh, well, definitely Radon, but I think they fixed that, didn't they? Awkward attack timing. Okay. Okay. Sure. Terrible AoE, and every single fight is just one giant endurance contest. I don't know. I think they're stretching a bit there, but let's continue. It's completely ironic how From Software seemingly decides to prioritize flashy, explosive attacks over balance and fair gameplay. Okay, hold on. Let's stop there. That's kind of true. That's kind of true. But if you don't like that, then yeah, I can see the negative review. But if you do like that, then it's fine. I feel like there's a good mix of that, right? But no, that's interesting. When the entire purpose of the Soulsborne series existing is to provide satisfying extreme challenges. Okay. I understand that Dark Souls and Sekiro can feel sluggish, almost easy depending on your skill level, with their bosses and gameplay at times, but boy, at least it was fair and balanced. You know what? Okay. I felt like at the beginning of this review wasn't great, but this one's actually, it's, details help. That was actually pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. Comparing it to Sekiro and Dark Souls, like, dude, I did play through Dark Souls recently, and it was still fun. But yeah, it definitely felt sluggish at times. You had the opportunity to put yourself in equal footing with the boss, and it was fun. You just don't get to do that here? That's not true. The difficulty in the DLC is, by definition, artificial, with bosses taking almost no damage. Here's the thing. You know what? Hold on. Let me go back to that. This guy's saying you can't put yourself on equal footing with the boss. And, look, that's not true. But here's the thing. If you're an honest player, like if you're playing Dark Souls with, like, Sword and Board, and you just fully upgraded the first greatsword you ever seen. If you're an honest player, then yeah, I can see that criticism being pretty accurate. But as far as like, if you actually go to like bosses with a really good build, nah, you can definitely steamroll some bosses. But yeah, like honest players, definitely, I can see somebody like who doesn't use guides, who's just playing through the game, and they're just using like a claymore. and I mean, claymore is still really good, but you know what I mean. Like, if you're just using something honest, the game's definitely gonna feel a little janky to you, maybe a little overwhelming. You just don't get to do that here. The difficulty in the DLC is by definition artificial, with bosses taking almost no damage. Scatter Tree, come on. Or Shadow Tree. Shadow Tree. The Skibbity Tree. But I don't know. I've been playing through the DLC with a maxed Shadow Tree Blessing, and it's like still kind of tanky, but not really. Again, this, I don't know. Almost taking no damage seems to be a little bit of hyperbole. So, but like, yeah, I understand the DLC can definitely feel overwhelming. Moving at insane speeds, that's true. The speeds are faster. That's fine. But like that, I don't find that to be like. I think it's kind of cool they could pull that off. You know, if they clean up those hitboxes, the speeds are fine. It's definitely super fast though. Jumping around you, having constant near infinite projectiles and AoE attacks that hit the entire arena that make you go insane when trying to learn how to dodge. Who are they talking about? What do you think they're talking about? They're probably talking about Radon, right? Yeah, I don't know. It's like Radon really made people feel a certain way, dude. Cause like he's pretty like broken, like, to be honest. I mean, he literally was. He had broken hitboxes that they needed to fix, but yeah, the AoE attacks, it definitely was like From Software was just like, dude, we have to make this boss extra overpowered, so we're doing this. And that's kind of like this, they went for it. You never actually die to the boss. You die to the effect they give that they happened to release 10 minutes ago, and when you actually do beat the boss, it feels are they talking about Sunflower? Or, I have no idea. Like, what are you talking about here? And when you actually do beat the boss, it feels anything but satisfying and worth the effort. Not true. This does feel like an honest negative review though, but it definitely has a hint of salt. Honestly, unless you're dedicated to beating the game in its fullest extent, then go ahead and get it. But if you're looking for a satisfying challenge, then you will not find it here. Not true. Not true. Nah, dude. Beating Radon for the first time felt amazing. It felt amazing. I beat him 4 times. One, my first time was with a Mimic, but I was using Golden Halberds, so it was like that second phase was kind of rough. But I went for it, and I ended up pulling it off. But holy crap, that felt good. But then my second time, I soloed him with my Dex Faith build. I used Great Katana with Piercing Fang. There's a lightning buff on it. I Golden Bow. Super strong against Radon. Oh, boo-doo-doo. Sorry. Honestly, just play Dark Souls 3. The pacing is the same, but the boss fights are actually balanced and satisfying to beat. Okay, but after you beat Dark Souls 3, you're going to want to play something that's kind of a step up, and that's Elden Ring. like what, bro? That okay. Honest review, but nah. Not too sure the game really deserved it. I just want to be honest. I don't think they deserve this this negative review. But they're being honest, so give them that. Okay, another one posted August 3rd. Where did FromSoft go wrong? Historically, their DLCs had been among the finest parts of their games, Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and I expected Elden Ring to be no different. Unfortunately, this DLC is plagued with many of the issues that stem from the base game, whether it's the unreasonable hitboxes, the excessively long combos, or the odd attack timings. they really, yeah. I mean, look, I wouldn't really describe it, at least not all of that sort of thing. I wouldn't describe it that way. I would describe it like they know we're getting good at their games, so they're deliberately having odd attack timings. So it's like, I get it. You don't like it, but they are deliberately trying to be jerks. Just, I don't know if saying jerks is the right word, but you know what I mean. They're deliberately trying to step up the difficulty using any means possible. Much of the combat in the DLC feels like an overtuned and unintuitive mess. Don't get me wrong. There are some beautiful aspects of the DLC, such as the map design. Yeah, the map design's amazing. Artwork and atmosphere, yep, agreed. And some banger OSTs, also agreed. There was so much potential here that I felt was squandered by a poor combat experience. I don't know if I agree with that. FromSoft is more than capable of delivering phenomenal boss fights, though it seems they tip the scales in favor of pure difficulty over a fun challenge. Yeah, okay, I agree with that. I definitely, yeah, for sure. I mean, look, I still had a great time in the DLC. It was fun for me. but it definitely feels like they went more towards the difficulty for sure for the DLC, which was nice. It was a nice switch up. It kind of feels like the DLC is just one giant raid, kind of. But like, I don't know. I enjoyed it. But again, another negative review, which I feel like some of this is just pure. You know, if you don't like what they did in the DLC, that's fine. But like, I don't know. They did say that they'd like the map design and artwork and atmosphere. I don't know. It seems like a fair negative review. I just disagree. The DLC weapons should have had separate DLC upgrade materials. No, man. Shadow smithing stones or some such. Maybe if they added a new tier of weapon, sure. But like, we definitely no. I'm certainly happy with how many capstones we got in the DLC. A lot of the difficulty is negated by being able to instantly upgrade anything you get. Dude, that is just not something I'm hearing from the other reviews. I slapped Spectral Lance on a Mesmer Soldier Spear and easily took out Fire and Black Knights. I mean, cool. That sounds actually pretty cool. Going into the DLC and just picking up a Mesmer Soldier Spear and just like riding out with that, that's actually kind of sick. Along with the various Divine Warriors. A lot of the reused assets, while they are good, and it's understandable why they are reused both from Elden Ring base game and other FromSoft games, I wanted it to be a more unique experience. If I could give it a solid neutral, I would say it's a 6 out of 10. But you gave it a negative. And it's 6 out of 10 isn't like negative. You know what? It is failing, I guess, but all right. I really enjoyed the lore. Makes you feel empathy for America and then whip around and say, oh, okay, but WTF, and how the nature of godhood seems to separate her from her origins. And then I don't at all feel bad about using the Frenzy Flame ending and melt them all. What? Okay. that took a turn. I like the Gales. I like the Catacombs. I just wanted a few more of them. Oh, I kind of agree with that, but I haven't went through all the Catacombs yet. I did not do any good dungeon diving in the DLC yet. I really got to separate a day for that just to do some dungeon diving, because that's like one of my favorite part about RPGs. Just finding random dungeons and just going in there. Like that's super sick. But you know what? I'll agree with that. I'm always down for more dungeons. Why not? Why not? I'd add in 5 more dungeons into the DLC that all just have random bosses that just drop shadow trees, shadow tree blessings, you know? Oh, the fragments, you know, something like that. I don't care if it's a reskin. I just like dungeon diving and just add something at the end that's worth it. I would have loved for a Death Knight and a Ghost Flame Dragon duo instead of Putrescent Knight. This dude's a madman. What? This is the weirdest negative review I've seen. I mean, you could have just reused the Nameless King instead of Orphan of Kaz on half of a horse. I mean, dude, actually, the Putrescent Knight, I did think, I was like, oh, Orphan, dope. Orphan on a horse. It's sick. it's very cool. I enjoy that boss fight. I think it's cool. It's no Ring City. Ooh, okay, this is the first time I'm ever like coming across to this. To compare Ring City to Shadow. I don't know. See, here's the thing. Upon, like, my first playthrough Ring City was good. My first playthrough Shadows was good. I think Ring City, once you learn it, becomes a lot smaller than when you learn Shadows of the Erdtree. Once you learn that DLC, I feel like that DLC still has a lot of extra stuff, like with dungeons and all that. So no matter what, like, your Ring City playthroughs will become shorter, and then Shadows of the Erdtree, no matter what, will stay at a good, reasonable size because of how much extra stuff is in there. And I like the bosses better in Shadows of the Erdtree. So I'm gonna give the edge to Shadows, but it's not upon like the first playthrough. It's more like over time. Basically. But okay, super weird negative review though. but okay, nah, it was chill, I guess. Dude, yeah, I'm still just extra surprised that the game's still getting like random negative reviews like this. I thought they would kind of like chill out, but whatever. This guy clearly enjoyed the game, but like I don't know. Yeah, He wanted to fight a Death Knight and Ghost Flame Dragon duo. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. But okay, fair enough.